I'm Grace Flowers, exercise science major, and today I chose Josh Roberts from ASU St. Bernard's Rehab Center, who's actually been my PT for the past 10 months for my knee, and he's one of the reasons why I am interested in going to the physical therapy. All right, first introduce yourself and where you're from.
Yeah, my name's Josh Roberts. I've lived here in Jonesboro for the last 9 years. Went to physical therapy school here at ASU and then started in the clinic I'm in today, actually straight out of school, and have kind of bounced around town a little bit for, a couple different occasions, and then been here for the last 5 years.
Okay, so you've been working physical therapy for the past
9 years.
Okay.
9 years, yeah.
And what steps did you take to get here? In college, what was your major? Where did you go?
It started off, I did my undergraduate degree at Drury University in Springfield, Missouri. Was an exercise science major with an emphasis in exercise physiology. And then from there, I applied to a couple of different PT schools, ended up choosing Arkansas State due to the location and also the cost. Went to PT school here, and like I said, I performed one of my internships or one of my clinical rotations in this clinic, and they offered me a job, and had been in Jonesboro for a bit at that point, so it worked out well.
Before working here, did you work anywhere else?
No, I guess if you could count working like on my dad's farm or at a sawmill when I was a kid and through college, that was about it. But as far as like a professional career, this is the only thing I've ever done.
Why did you choose profession? Was there anybody in particular who inspired you or motivated you to choose this?
Really what inspired me or motivated me, I was always involved in athletics when I was a kid, and very early on my mom was like, well, you're not going to be a professional basketball player. So, would watch basketball games or football games on the weekends, would hear about guys being injured doing their rehab, and just kind of appealed to me. And so I guess maybe junior high, I kind of really got interested in, read more about it, and decided that was something that I wanted to do.
All right, good. What advice would you give someone like me who's interested in going to physical therapy?
A couple different things. One, I would say, go ahead and shadow several different settings. There are a bunch of different settings. We're outpatient orthopedics and sports medicine. You end up having geriatrics, pediatrics, acute care hospital, skilled nursing facilities. So the scope of physical therapy is rather broad. And so I always tell people to go search out and shadow different locations and different settings, so you can be sure that you would be okay working that if worse came to worse and that's the only job you had available. And then the other thing is, when it comes to selecting schools, I would always want to know, pass rate versus cost of attendance, because a lot of schools can really tout their pass rates, as being, 90, 95%, but if you're paying $50,000 a year and there's another school that has a 90 or 95% pass rate and you can get by with $15,000 a year, why would you not go to that school?
That's good. What is the most challenging part of your job?
The most challenging part, or at least the part that I, beat my head against the wall the most over, is when you have a patient and you do an examination and you initiate their treatment and you see them for a period of time and it's like, okay, well, you're not getting any better. Okay, what can we do different? I can only address what I see and what I find. Let's try this different approach, let's try this. And it just gets frustrating at times when you have the patient, that you just can't figure out. That's probably the hardest part of the job for me.
Okay, what's the most rewarding part of your job?
Most rewarding, definitely getting to see people that are, at their lowest of lows when they, come in maybe post-surgically day one, just in a lot of pain, not real happy, emotionally just in not a good place, and then seeing them, 6 months down the road, 7 months down the road when they're back full go and doing everything that they wanted to do. That's the rewarding thing for me.
That's good. What's the difference between working with college athletes, which you do a lot, and just regular patients?
It's kind of interesting because in a lot of ways they're obviously different, but in a lot of ways it's similar. We're still looking to address functional impairments, so whether that be loss of range of motion or loss of strength or different things, we're still going to address, a loss of strength and flexibility and balance with you the same way I would with my grandmother, in the sense that we're going to address those things, but how we address them is different. And so it's always nice working with the college athletes because, you can push kind of the extremes of stuff. I have an athletic background. I still work out quite a bit myself, and so it's nice to be able to, try things that I wouldn't normally try on the average person. And so, just being able to go that little step farther on, your exercise progression and what the patient's capable of is probably the biggest difference.
Thank you. All right, and last one, I would say, was this your first choice in college when you were deciding your career? Was there any other options that you were interested in?
Briefly when I was in undergraduate, I guess it was my sophomore year, my anatomy professor had tried to talk me into medical school. And, it just was, I thought about it for a fleeting moment. But just the thought of being in school that long, the hours they have to work, the responsibility that they carry, it just didn't really appeal to me as much as what this did. Quicker through school, lower level of responsibility and stress, and so I'd like to enjoy my time out of here and not think about work all the time, and so that having this job affords me the opportunity to do that.
Well, thank you so much.